Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. We're back. We're talking Chelsea and we're talking Graham Potter as the new Chelsea manager. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted about it this morning, so we're going to be talking about what Potter will bring to Chelsea, how long it will take him to be successful, if he can be successful, and what Chelsea can expect from the Brighton manager extraordinaire, because he has done an extraordinary job there. But this is coming out from Fabrizio Romano this morning. Chelsea effectively, here we go, because he says Graham Potter will be appointed as Chelsea manager as expected. Agreement is in place. Contracts are now being prepared as proposed and has been accepted. Here we go. He then goes on to say that been told that Todd Bowley was already well informed on Graham Potter, his ideas, his concepts and methods when he decided to sign Cucurella from Brighton this summer. Many managers have been offered to Chelsea, but Potter was the only priority. There you go. So look, it's a big statement from Chelsea. I do just want to say, and I think it's very, very important, that there was a story this morning that Thomas Tuchel had certainly back in March refused to talk to Manchester United and another club because of his loyalty to Chelsea, who were going through a period of major uncertainty around the sale of the club, and Tuchel felt that he needed to be loyal to Chelsea, and it just shows you there's no loyalty in football, really, is there? Chelsea, I'm sure, would have been very happy with Tuchel back in March, not wanting to talk to Manchester United, not wanting to take up any other opportunities, wanting to not leave what was a sinking ship at Chelsea with no ownership. He stayed loyal and then he loses his job within a few months. But I keep saying, I don't think that the treatment of Tuchel was very good by Chelsea. But when you get a new owner, and we spoke about this weeks and weeks before Chelsea kicked a ball this season, we discussed this on this channel and we said, because I remember specifically saying it, when you get a new owner, they normally get a new manager. And Tuchel was always on thin ice. And unfortunately, his loyalty on whatever else he's done in the last couple of years has not been rewarded by a new owner who will think, I don't really care about that. He wants to do his own thing. And it certainly feels like the speed of movement of bringing Graham Potter in doesn't feel like it was sacked on Tuesday night, let's see if we can get Potter. It feels like the wheels were in motion around this Potter thing a lot longer than people think, and I think therefore it does lend to the fact that this new owner had a new idea about what he wanted to do sometime, maybe even weeks before this. He was looking at Potter. So massive opportunity for Graham Potter, very exciting opportunity. Even as a non-Chelsea fan, it's it's a bit like Grealish when he went to Man City. I really had a lot of time for Grealish at Villa and what a player he was. He ends up going to Man City. It makes it difficult to want him to do well when he goes to Man City. But Potter is a manager that, I was saying yesterday, many of us really like Potter. And for him to get his opportunity at a top 6 club, a top 4 club, Chelsea, he deserves it. And I really can't say the words that I hope he's majorly successful, because I want United to be successful, but I would like to see him do a good job, taking away my Man United bias, because he's English and we've not had a manager that's this exciting as an England coach for a very long time. So I really do hope that he is given the time and he is successful. It's a massive tick in the box that there will have been a Pochettino put forward and there will have been other managers put forward, that Chelsea have gone for Potter. I've seen him overlooked for the Villa job for Gerrard. I've seen him overlooked for the Everton job for Lampard. So for him to go and get the Chelsea job, it's amazing. It's an amazing story, because I couldn't understand, and it's happened a few times, I couldn't understand why clubs such as Newcastle, Everton, Villa, and there have been others, never went for Brighton's Potter. And I think that's their loss. They went for more popular names. I think Newcastle appointed a good manager in Eddie Howe, by the way, but Everton going for Lampard and Villa going for Gerrard, they've gone for shiny, well-known names in the media, and Potter was the obvious choice if you know your football, and therefore Chelsea have done a very, very clever thing here. Now, we don't know whether it's going to be successful or not, but he deserves this chance, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it works out. And obviously Brighton are the biggest losers, but we said that yesterday as well, that it's the circle of football, really. If Brighton had a top-class striker, he's not going to stay at Brighton for all his career. He's going to end up at United or Liverpool or Bayern Munich or something like that. And if you've got a top-class manager at Brighton, it doesn't matter what he achieves with Brighton, it's never going to be consistently easy to achieve that with the sort of players that he's got. Which brings me on to what Chelsea can expect. Because if you watch Brighton, the way that they play is very clever. It's very possession based. The things that have always impressed me when I've seen Brighton play at Old Trafford is that, and look, I'm not saying United have been a very good team, but Old Trafford, 75,000 fans, they want to attack, they want United to be dominant. And although we've always had good results against Brighton in recent years, what they do and what they consistently do, apart from the opening day of this season, of course, what they do and what they consistently do under Potter is, and we've seen it year after year, is that if you've got Bissouma in the midfield and there's a bit of a press, he will take the ball with his back to what's going on behind him and take a touch and pass it back. And they're very good in possession. They're very good in possession, and they don't panic in possession. And this is very much the modern way. Pep does it, other managers do it, Nagelsmann does it. Potter's teams don't panic in possession. They don't get the ball and have a bit of a press and just blast it away and lose possessions. They don't give possession up cheaply. That doesn't mean that they can't be caught in possession. You can't win the ball high up the pitch. You can. Mistakes happen. But the principles of the way that Potter wants to play is confident and possession based, because it's not rocket science. If you've got possession, the opposition can't score, and you can't score without possession. So Potter is very much about that, playing out from the back. He's very manipulative in the way that he plays football. A lot of people have said, will he go with the back five at Chelsea? Will he go with the back four? And I would say, with the way that team, I mean, look, the interesting thing for Potter is that we can lament about how he's going to play and his style of football. And I think the best thing to say is that he will definitely come and play a possession-based football, which will be easy on the eye. But you can't say what formation he's going to play, and you can't say how successful it's going to be, because he's never had the quality of player that he's got here. And that's the exciting thing, and potentially the dangerous thing as well, is that instead, and all due respect to people at Brighton, but if you use someone like Danny Welbeck as the example, and you're going to go from Danny Welbeck to people like Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz, Pulisic, players of that quality, if he can get what he can get out of Welbeck, what can he get out of the people like Mason Mount, etc., who are considered some of the best talents in Europe? So this is going to be the interesting thing, because logically, if you've got a Formula One racer who's winning races in a car that's not as quick as a Ferrari or a Mercedes or a Red Bull, and then you put that racer in a Red Bull, then surely they're going to be even better. And my point there is that if Graham Potter can get brilliant performances out of Danny Welbeck, imagine what you can get out of a better player than Danny Welbeck. There should be huge improvement there. But it's how long it's going to take, and it's difficult to do it in a season that's already up and running, because he hasn't got a pre-season. And we've already seen with Ten Hag, even if you've got a pre-season, you can still start the season badly. So Potter's got to get to work straight away. There's not a lot of break. They're playing in the Champions League next week. Our first watch-along of the weekend is Fulham against Chelsea, and it was always going to be, but it definitely would be now, because it's so exciting to see Potter in role and how that Chelsea team responds, because I think they will win. You always get a bounce with a new manager, but I think that the way that Chelsea side is loaded as a squad, there's lots of defenders, there's not an amazing amount of midfielders, and they still seem to be a bit problematic up front. But if you look at Potter, he's never had the obvious goal scorer. You know, Welbeck's not an obvious goal scorer, Maupay's not an obvious goal scorer, and yet they've still scored goals. And they've always been very hard to score against. So I think the principles, that Chelsea squad is not a bad squad for Potter to take over, because defensively he can improve it a lot. And Potter's always had this way of getting goals out of players that aren't necessarily 20 goal a season strikers. So he probably can get quite a lot out of that team. And I think he will probably start with the back five system. He might not. He might go with the back four, but I think he'll go with the back five system and look to get Chelsea confident on the ball. And it's going to be very interesting, very, very interesting. We as English Premier League fans, and I say that purposely, haven't had a situation whereby we have got an English coach managing a top four side, because Chelsea are that, and you're like, he's a really good coach, what can he do? The last person was actually Chelsea with Lampard, but Lampard's not Potter. Like, there's a big difference in coaching style there. So it's going to be very interesting to monitor and see how this works out. It really, really will. And I am excited to see. So make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe bottom right hand corner. Obviously we've got Fulham Chelsea on the watch along on Friday. I'll be doing my Premier League prediction show tomorrow. Subscribe and I'll speak to you on the next one. Get your thoughts in below.